Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's episodes of Ninja Turtles The Next Mutation Reactions. I am Fred. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. We are down to the final two episodes of the show itself with Unchain My Heart Part 4 and Who Needs Her. Ironically enough, the latter episode is actually the episode that ended the series. It was the series finale unintentionally when the show first aired. Now, a couple of things. One, there was something trimmed out of last week's episode, or when I turned off the blur effect. So, like a couple minutes got trimmed out of it because it got picked up by the DMCA detector. So, yep. If you ever wonder why I have it blurred and you don't hear any audio, there's an actual reason for that. So, yeah, that happened. So, I got a little bit too well. Part of the problem was I've turned off the blur for a time. Then I forgot to flip it back on for an extended period. So, that's on me. But also, kind of go to show is that you can sync up your own copy or of the DVDs, or I believe you actually can find the episodes on YouTube themselves in a not exactly an official format, but the episodes I believe are on YouTube themselves. So if you want to sync up and watch along and see what I'm referring to out right there. Also, because of my curiosity regarding the writing of the character of Van Me, I actually went and reached out to uh, writer Rhonda Smiley, who worked on Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation and wrote a couple of the episodes of the Unchained My Heart four-parter. Um, so they wrote back. Hi Fred. Unfortunately, I don't remember much about the Turtles Next Mutation episodes. It was a long time ago. I scoured my files and can't find the scripts to refresh my memory. I couldn't even remember the premise of that particular arc, so I went to IMDb to see what they had listed. And reading their premise, it seems Van Mee ultimately partners with another uh, villain, quote unquote, Bone Steel, to destroy the turtles, so that would make her a villain even if her initial goal was only to get her heart back. That said, it wouldn't surprise me if Van Mee came off as sympathetic. Often the best antagonists and or villains are those who have goals that are important to them and not wrong per se. It's how they go about achieving them and what happens subsequently that makes them the bad guy, such as teaming up with another villain to destroy the turtles if the premise on IMDb are accurate. Wish I could help, but as I said, it was a long time ago. Regards, Rhonda Smiley. And again, thank you very much, Miss Smiley, uh, for responding to my inquiries last week. Again, take a shot and reach out to folks. You never know what might happen. You know what I should you know what I should probably should ask is, hey, can I interview you? See if you remember anything about the show or anything that there were any creative restrictions or whatnot. But no, they were kind enough to actually just respond to those inquiries and actually, like I sent a message to them like on Tuesday afternoon. They replied on when did they? Let's see. I sent the message on like Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, and Miss Smiley got back to me on like a couple days later on Thursday. So that was kind of cool. Actually, no, more than cool. It was totally tubular, dudes. Uh, so with that said, um, so what happens? So here's what's coming up here. Obviously, the next week we're going to have the two Power Rangers in Space episodes, which I'm still counting as part of this series, even though they're Power Rangers episodes. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a tier list video, the way I did with Daria. but I will have I will be doing like a final thoughts video in 2 weeks time regarding the series to the put like a nice pin on the journey we went through. And of course, our big full attention will be switching into like Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and probably doing more prep work for that each week. Anyway, as always, you don't see the video. It's all blurred and stuff, as y'all know. You don't hear the audio. I will be running my mouth for the better part of the next 45 minutes or so. So if you want to sync up your copy, well, you know what you can almost tell. Previously on Ninja Turtles, I actually say last week on Turtles, which in this case is true. Uh, uh, they're definitely leaning into the recap of the of abusing of the heart, and and I am reminded of how much I of complete dicks Raphael and Donatello were to Venus last week in part 3, as well as the nice head to head that Venus and Van go through. It is a shame that in this recap they are showing Bone Steel partially being incompetent, but also stealing the heart. But at least it's giving a proper recap and showing the conclusion where Bone Steel was able to capture three of the three vampires. He's starting to get irritated. So there we go. And again, I don't get the crossbow transition. Okay, now is that supposed to be a live monkey? Because it's giving sounds and such. Oh, it's a daytime effect, and he has vampires. So I can only imagine what Bone Steel has in mind. He's invigorated. The sun rises on a brand new day, fills a man with new hope, and the vampires are caged and on the roof. They're not through. They're not happy. Here's the deal. What's his deal? He, he, so it's actually again. So Bone Steel is actually again for the second time in this story arc. He is proposing the alliance. Amy is more receptive here. So that's how the alliance comes to mind. It's more of out of Vami's desperation, and she's about to be roasted because of the sun rising. But it's a straight alliance of convenience here. Bone Steel pointing out they keep tripping over each other and they're getting each other's way. Because over the course of this arc, how often over the past 3 episodes, Bone Steel had the turtles dead to rights. But Vammy also saying is not enough to get the heart back. Also got to destroy Venus, so that's the other side of it there. And Rhonda Smiley was the executive story editor. So I really should have asked, like, as the executive story editor, what were any restrictions or things that she had to focus on to get get these episodes done? But knowing that she could not find any of the scripts, that is what it is. Venus Venus is working on uh, on her shinobi magic, and it's like that's the plan. The other turtles provided a distraction and to set up Venus to use her magic. And they're doing like a lot of prep work here, like an ultraviolet an ultraviolet sunbeam, a garlic juice gun. Is that all right? They're going to work as a team. That would be a nice change of pace. Oh wait, they always work at no. I take that back. There are some instances where they don't work as a team, and Venus seems a bit nervous over the situation. Oh, Splinter is sharpening his stake. Again, I appreciate again with this being a four-part story, with everything being built up, and she missed with that effort. But again, all the prep work and practicing and everything, and again, it's a crash course, especially with Venus having to rapidly develop her Nobi powers. Oh, there's like turtle crossbows. So this is where the crossbow transitions come into play because they actually are using crossbows, and Venus blew something up. Oh, apparently they are ready. I can't argue with that. Oh, Donatello has made a vampire tracker and is using the heart to track down the vampires. Again, that's clever. Donatello is certainly doing machines because he has no shot with Venus, and April does not exist in this continuity. Yeah, that really is one of the odder things that they've done with the more modern Turtle series from like 2012 onward. Pairing Donatello and April's like, why? But of course, another time of seeing the transition of the vehicles. At least it's not as egregious in showing like who was sitting where in the Humvee. I am curious as like what stock footage they use for the flying transitions of the vampires. Uh, flying through New York at night. Clearly, well, at least one thing was used was clearly driven a car being driven, and then the footage sped up on a bridge. Oh, and Splinter is out and about and he's the one holding the tracker. They're vampire positive. Oh wait, Bone Steel set up a trap. Of course. In Xanadu Tuplicon. Oh, and they're the vampires who were not in that shop previously. So it's like, welcome to the Slaughter Dome. Oh wow, they shot him dead. Wow, they shot him dead straight. Oh no, wait, they caught the stakes. Oh, tanning beds. So Donatello's playing backfire, but I do like it. It's like okay, sunlight from the ageless orb, the sun in the sky is what they're weak against, not a tanning bed. And Donatello got his ass knocked out. And he used his ponytail to take disarm Michelangelo? That's clever. Eh, Boy, they're making the turtles look very incompetent here. But what you gonna do? A Walrus tranquilizer? I love both. Oh shoot, that's a big ass blowgun. And he got Raphael. Oh, and Raphael's taking swings at Mikey. Well, to be fair, Michelangelo in this series does need to be slapped. Oh, and he knocked out Mikey with a kick and I guess landing on him, so that's clever. Oh, Venus misses. Bambi literally catches it and blows it away. So that's the shot. That's actually the shot that's in the opening credits. Oh, what a pretty face when she's angry. Bone Steel pulling back the van. Wait, but he was in the van in the previous shot. But he's dragging Mikey and Raphael into the. Oh, did he capture Donatello already? Because Donatello was knocked out. Oh, and Splinter just gave her the canister with the heart. Who has the heart? And she has 4 hours left. Okay. So which turtles did Bone Steel capture? Definitely Raph and Mikey. We saw him dragging. Donatello was knocked out. Venus and Splinter got away. These are swamp turtles to make a flute instrument. Oh, he caught all four of them. When did I missed when Leo got knocked out? It does look like Donatello can slip one hand through the shackles there. I guess it looked like they ran out. Oh, okay. At least they're selling the threat. Michelangelo looking terrified. That leaves just Venus and Splinter out and about on a different exterior shot of Chinatown up in New York. And that's an old ass station wagon, too. Wow, 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 wow. I'm not sure why they played that sound there. Again, some of the sound effects and stuff kind of ruin the number of scenes. Venus's 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 confidence is shaken. Oh, Splinters is like realizing that Venus's skills are not in conjuring, but she has like more telepathic and intuitive instincts. And okay, reasoning that the heart is telepathically attuned to Van Mee. They're going to summon the Grand Prince of the First Blood. The ancient one is insane. Well, yeah, of course the ancient one is insane. We've seen them over on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Actually, if one wants to actually justify doing a Ninja Turtles Buffy the Vampire Slayer crossover, everything's revealed over the course of this four-parter would actually fit in the world of Buffy, especially Buffy seasons. Let's see. This would have been around the time of Buffy season 3, season 4-ish, somewhere along those lines. Okay, Raphael throwing a plan out there. Because Raphael's trying to save his own skin. Okay, and Bone Steel buys it. You know, and it's kind of funny that Raphael and Bone Steel, at least in this sense, is teaming up. Well, not say like teaming up, but they actually have that. It was established that they do work well off of each other, as we saw in the episode Going Ape. Oh, it hit Leonardo on the head with the hammer. Oh, but it was a ruse. Hell of a shot there. Ricochet and the tranquilizer ends up hitting Bone Steel in the tuchus. Again, big credit to Scott McNeil in the facial reactions and emoting he does as Bone Steel. But at least the four turtles escape through Raphael's cleverness. All right, let's see what's involved with this summoning of this ancient one. The oldest of the first? No, wait. Well, yes, the first is actually preceded. So if it's the oldest of the first, that means it would be the one that came after the first. Because like the oldest of the first, potentially offspring. But again, building in and adding in a new villain. Oh, he just calls him a straight up misfit. Grant, all we seeing is an orb. How sure the vampires are more powerful than turtles? Very clues. Yeah, but they're big turtles. They walk and talk and do ninja stuff. But she wants to be sent directly to her heart. One, no transit. All right, so it's showing the turtles going back to the lair, but it's showing Venus in the Humvee when she was already at the turtle lair. Again, the continuity of the driving scenes is is odd. Venus is communicating with the evil organ. Oh, they have the heart. Oh, so but she's literally holding it in her hand and communicating with it telepathically. All right, you made a connection, and she has an idea. Wonderful. They're going onto a rooftop. No, they're like Vammy and them are hanging out in an old like abandoned hotel. Oh, the ancient one is kind of like does not like to be rushed. But everything over the course of this episode is taking place over the course of wait, the sun was supposed to be rising, but she said earlier in the episode she only had 4 hours left when the sun was rising. It's kind of weird. But Vammy got kind of roasted, and he tells him not to bother her ever again. Oh, and she's getting a power up and a teleportation. Oh, and she ends up in the sewer by herself. Oh, oh, and in the sewer where the trap bringing in the sunlight and reflecting, using the mirrors to reflect the sunlight. We like the vampire well done. They're literally roasting her. She's fading. She's melting. Oh, what a world! What a world! That and the heart is now belongs to Venus, apparently. That was very anticlimactic here. Oh, they managed to collect her dust and stick her into an urn. Oh, they're gonna stay in New York. Home is where the heart is, and Van Mee is heart is in New York. But this was, and we're getting a recap of the entire arc. But this is anticlimactic for a conclusion of this of the story. And yeah, and yeah, it's a wonderful like build up for Venus. But if it's, if one could argue if this was the final episode being aired or at least arranged on the DVD set, having Venus like showing her entire journey, yeah, that would have worked. That would have worked, but I I'm genuinely disappointed. So talking about just this episode as a conclusion to the Unchain My Heart arc, that was that really just undercut things. The fact that it ends was like a recap that actually would have worked best as like if it was being like the final, if they put this like at as the final episodes of the season, it would work in regards to like, okay, build anticipation for next season, but that you show that Venus's entire journey up to this point, oh, like it works as like her like from where she started and to where she ended up, that she has a family, that she lost her master, but you know what, she's gained like technically four brothers and a new master in Splinter, and that she's like, bring on the vampires, bring on the hunters and everything, and that she is shinobi and everything. Okay, I can totally see that being like a great like ending scene for the season, for the or even just the series. But we still got one more episode to watch technically, which is just a glorified clip show with Who Needs Her. But the build up, um, this part four of Unchained My Heart has some unique issues. One, like a timing continuity issue. Well, I take that back because we don't know how. Apparently, however long it took for the Ancient One to make up its mind was like uh, clearly several hours before it eventually says like, okay, we're teleporting Vammy into the sewer to where her heart is and to her ultimate demise. And her just literally being teleported into a trap is like hell of a way just to write a character off. And it's teased that the other two her little vampire minions are going to be running around. So if the series would have continued, maybe they would have found a way to resurrect her without her heart or something to that effect. But it is it, So going back to the email reply I got from Miss Smiley, we can safely say that the teaming up of Bone Steel and the vampires was just really for this one moment in time. But things, did not go Vammy's way, and he has to go rely on something else to get to the turtles. So it's or at least to get her heart back. I mean, they're clear. I kind of wonder. I wonder if they ran out of ideas for stretching things out. And I also wonder how much was probably left on the cutting room floor as well. With a lot of like the quick cuts, sometimes footage being sped up in some of the sequences. There was just one instance of that here with Michelangelo being spun around and such with the mini vampire with the long ponytail. But yeah, generally I'm kind of underwhelmed. I actually would have preferred it if there was like one final like confrontation straight outright between Venus and Van Mee, where like where Venus had to basically work to get Van Mee into the sunlight trap and everything. But it just the ending of Van Mee's demise just comes off as being just way too convenient. Oh well. Time for the last episode of the series. Who Needs Her? Which I already know it's a clip show. It's kind of so again the exterior of New York and Venus is focusing. Michelangelo has made a big cake. Raphael is practicing. Leonardo is practicing. Donatello is gooning. Or let the turtles be as one. A magic overload. Oh, everyone is being dragged. Let let the turtles be as one, and everyone being dragged together. Oh, Michelangelo put the cake down. Oh, the cake was okay. Kudos that the cake was saved. And Splinter has pajamas. So the other turtles are. So Venus does not count as a turtle in this instance. It's a togetherness spell where they're very much together. Venus, Donatello again being a dick, and it says like is there any spell you can do? But like, so if it's an episode where it's these four them pissing her off again. Oh, and okay, Splinter is like Splinter is going back to bed. It's like let the other four like think about it. Let the four turtles think about it, considering everything. Considering at this point, this was the episode that last aired. So at this point, there is no fucking reason for Donatello to be ripping into Venus when her magic has worked. and Leonardo should know better. So it's like, okay, yeah, let them just being a dog pile as Venus like just goes off on her own. Or Raphael just being stuck underneath. Michelangelo had the right idea, go for the cape. But it is a neat, unique special effect there. But the fact that it is showing some special effects to keep them contained and piled up. Just going back to the chi energy, stepping back in the universal flow. And the first time that things went wrong. The Staff of Bukai episode. And this is gonna be like the last time we see the Dragon Lord, and it's an Eclipse show. So, because the Dragon Lord and his minions weren't really dealt with, the Staff of Bukai literally pulling Venus by her shell. That was quite cute. But, just are they trying to say that she's worthless and useless, which she's not. They're mentioning Van Mee. It's like, they're gonna blame Van Mee on Venus. They are literally blaming her for it, which is complete hogwash. Well, at least it's showing. Again, showing some like recap footage. Having just recently watched these episodes in the past few weeks, it's very surreal. And actually showing the male turtles getting the crap kicked out of them. But at least the turtles were able to adjust their positions to be in a more dignified position, to be less piled up on. Oh, Raphael and Leo are bickering again while they're trapped, and and they're gonna try and fight while they're contained in this bubble. So where did Venus end up? Venus going off on her own. She's pissed. Oh, hey, it's the rank. You forgot her balls. And they're blaming her for bone steel and her wanting to save a little turtle. It's like they are blaming her for every damn thing imaginable. It's like it's no wonder. It's kind of no wonder Venus. Granted, like Kevin Eastman or Peter Laird. I think it was Laird. One of those two, like, don't want to have her included in any damn thing as a fifth turtle at all. But it's this episode is doing going out of its way to make Venus look like a total incompetent when it's not true. We know, or at least I know, that it's not true. It's like the whole, but again, as a recap and reintroducing of major plot elements, because you had the earlier one, like Brothers was primarily focused on Leonardo and Raphael's constant bickering was a mix of Donatello and Michelangelo work in there. But this being like focused on recapping everything associated with Venus, but getting a nice little spotlight on Bone Steel. I mean, it's this is again it is a major recap, but it's tough to talk about here. But at least this entire montage of Bone Steel was showing him being very effective. Oh, and it's recapping to the first episode where Michelangelo's pointing out that, oh, wait, remember when Venus showed up and kicked our asses? With very little difficulty, mind you? Like, he turned out the lights and got him hanging upside down within a matter of minutes. Well, seconds. So it's, wait, what you saying that she can't fight that good when she was quite capable. But meanwhile, Venus is fighting off the rank, and what will probably will most certainly be the last time we see them. But oh she, she's actually no, they managed to capture her. Like take a dozen of them. They capture the she turtle. Start the water. Start boiling the water. They're gonna have turtle soup. You know what? A hell of a. You know what? I was not expecting the Dragon Lord to be appearing in this episode as an actual character, considering how much of a recap this is. So already this episode becomes better. It becomes better than like Brothers because there's actually a plot. There's actually a bit of a plot here. Splinter is still in his pajamas. Oh, what's Splinter up to with this blanket or with this tablecloth? Oh, wait, Splinter managed to capture the energy field? Well, it takes out the other turtles in a bowling ball fashion, but all right, impressive wire work with, and it's clearly matted in there that the wire work with Splinter was done on a separately, so it's a layered shot. But Splinter was actually able to get them out of the energy field. So she must think very highly of him. Who wouldn't think highly of him? But where is Venus? Yeah, they pissed her off again, and now she's in trouble. Oh, he can smells the rank. Venus is wise. And they realize that she's in trouble thanks to Splinter's sense of smell. But okay, so Michelangelo is getting into the passenger seat. Donatello's supposed to be in the back seat. We know Venus is captured. Leonardo's driving. So let's see. Will Venus be actually shown in the? Yeah, she was. Yep. No, she was seen in one shot of the Humvee, but in another shot when they're out on the street, Michelangelo's driving, Leonardo's in the passenger seat, and Donatello's in the back. And they're still recapping some stuff. that Venus did risk her life to save Splinters. That much is true. Oh, okay. So again, there was a reminder all the way back to the beginning of the series where where Venus had to teach him like some basic shinobi training to get them to dreamwalk, and which unintentionally releases the Dragon Lord, who was subsequently nerfed over the course of the series when he was a victim of various slapstick instances. And it's been a while since I pointed out that I really don't like Splinter how he looks here in this series. And it is ironic that this episode has the other four turtles ripping into Venus over her shinobi magic, but they actually saw the benefits of her magic when it came to rescuing Splinter. At least Leonardo admits it's their fault. Raphael realized that they've been a dick, and Donatello be apologetic. Yeah, Donatello point out like Venus would help anyone and everyone, especially the good dragon. Yeah, it's like the good dragon episode was actually real good. It had Raphael and Venus going head to head there, and that she distracted him to help the good dragon, who later sacrificed himself to we go back to the prison realm. But it again, it's a shame that we would not see more of that arc and see how that would have played out. Hey, a nice shot of Dr. Queez from the guest episode, which is funny that the episode the guest gets referenced in both recap episodes or clip shows. No, and she did tell him not to look up before he broke the radiation disruptor. What are you gonna do with the baby turtle? Raise it. Like, what would Raphael complain about the saving an animal? Who's more insane, Venus or Michelangelo? The answer to that question is Michelangelo. A recap of every time Venus got words wrong. That's it. It's it's kind of weird that they want to like un- uh, actually it had to be intentional to make Venus look bad in numerous ways. She's right. Pie or cake? Piece of cake, piece of pie. Simple. But again, at least they have that's a lot of extras for the rank that's being shown. And how did they managed to catch up pretty. But wait, they want to talk about how it was like so easy for how Venus was captured. Did they see how many rank members were there? Did they forget that like how easily the rank kicked their collective asses in the first episodes which is actually in the first couple episodes, but rather. Although we are seeing Venus versus the Foot Clan here, but let's really remember in the opening 5-part arc, the rank were presented as being well got a number of wins over the core 4 turtles, even with Venus there and Splinter in one instance. Like there was some retreating going on. But as a reminder that Venus could fight and like took care of the Foot Clan members with no issue. Hey, Silver the Gorilla. It's a shame. Again, I would love to have seen more episodes with him. If the series was picked up for or was allowed to continue for a second season, let's see what they would have done more with Silver. Because I really like the look of his minions, like a gorilla in like a yellow zoot suit, and like with his minions looking just as well. Donatello doesn't knowing what he's doing. That's not a surprise. But but it does raise a question of how did Venus get out of the vault? Did she use her? She had to use her magic, but how? She doesn't she doesn't really use her explosive, like a really offensive magic with her shinobi skills. Oh, and they're just like waiting around, thinking, pacing. Oh, they were coming up with a plan. Oh, Venus rescued herself. Venus Venus rescued her damn self. Off screen, mind you. Oh, oh, like at least they're all apologetic here. Couple of rank, like a couple of dozen. Oh, she got it right. Time to book. Well, at least Venus learned something. uh, you know, it's a shame that we actually didn't see how she would escaped, and we won't know how she escaped either. Um, yeah, that's not exactly a great way for the series to have ended. 26. Okay, so not really much we can say there, other than the fact there was at least some new footage. Venus got at least one new fight sequence, and but boy, they spent a lot of the time in this episode just ripping Venus to shreds. There is that is a rather unfortunate. Uh, and and it's a shame, really, because I really liked Venus's when they put things together. It's like how much of Venus's character developed, and I am convinced outright that Unchained My Heart as a that 4-parter, despite its lackluster ending, really should have been the last episode scene of the series. With 26 episodes, there was no real need for 2 clip shows, and it really shows, and it's more so a problem when you realize it on the DVD set. All right, this one in particular, that they put both clip show episodes on in the second half, which only works because, well, like Brothers references the guest, Who Needs Her references the events of Unchained My Heart. So they so as like the rearranging of episodes for this box for the DVD releases was certainly very problematic. Um, and I get it. It's like, why have two clip shows? Um, and it's two. I mean, two clip shows in a 26 episode season. That is so. Either they went way over budget. Potential. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about it because Unchained My Heart was aired in like in the middle of the series originally, so they would have blown their budget at some point. And when and I never do this on there. It's just like so I'm bringing up the Wikipedia listing here. All right, Unchained My Heart were episodes 13 to 16. The guest was episode 21, with Like Brothers being episode 19. So they aired out of order. Who Needs Her aired as episode 26, which is again very problematic when you're looking at it from that point. You're going from episode 19, so that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's like 5 episodes in between the two there's like the two-parter. Actually, between the two-parter, between the two clip shows. I mean, something something really went off and went wrong there. And I kind of wonder, what I would like to find out what the production codes were. What order were the episodes actually written in? What episodes were they produced in? And they wanted to get like a lot of things done. But boy, again, I can understand having one clip show. Well, and you know what? The clip show aspect of things of it really becomes prominent in like the Neo Saban era of Power Rangers, where there's like Power Ranger Samurai, Power Ranger Super Samurai, like they were like the samurai like Sentai footage was split over the course of 2 seasons, so they got like 20 some odd episodes in one season, then another 20. If you wonder why things got out of sync with the adaptation of Power Rangers from Sentai footage, like a lot of that started with things being broken up into like 2 seasons instead of one. Like the Mega Force, they wanted to get to like all the costumes and Sentai footage that was used in the whatever the hell that pirate series was, like the big like anniversary. But they had to speed through another season worth of footage beforehand, and it was a complete mess. But in between, like at the end of each series, there was like a recap, almost like a Christmas clip show of sorts to some degree. But yeah. Overall, it's not exactly the highest of notes here. I have to in some way I have to consider Unchained My Heart the true like series finale based on the episode order of this box set. Uh, Granted, Who Needs Her is the last episode seen regardless, and if it's the show's like, I'm think. You know what? Let me think this through here. The last scene of Unchain My Heart Part 4 is Venus in her own way recapping like her journey, like where things started and how at the very end of after everything, like she lost her master, she has the four turtles as like her, she has a new family and everything, and she's not alone and everything going forward. And who needs her? Kind of has like the other turtles coming around to it. It's like, hey, you know what? She's not all that bad. A lot of things happened that was arguably her fault if they want to put the blame on her. But they ultimately realize, you know what? They're better off with her than without her. So if they wanted to present that from like the boys being boys and like and poking fun of her and like realizing that they were wrong, and actually that was the whole point of Who Needs Her, is the turtles realizing that they were wrong, and for her and it's like it's supposed to be like Who Needs Her. I get it. I get it now as I'm thinking it through. And the placement of it being last, it's supposed to be like the officially of the other four turtles officially accepting her. So it's like, how the hell is it supposed to work? That's the only way it works. If you're looking into the context of what was the closing bit of Unchained My Heart and what's the theme and of Who Needs Her. All right. So if that's the note the series ends on, with Venus being fully accepted into the family from the four turtles point of view, it works. Not a strong ending. Like it would have been better if it was an eclipse show and they still had that message being brought across. But you know what? We take what we can get here, and so we technically still have two more next mutation related things to watch, and we'll watch them next week. It's on the DVD extras of disc 4 of this box set of the two Power Rangers in Space episodes. Even though the Turtles only appear in one briefly, we'll do those next week. Over on the Twitch channel later tonight, we are playing. Iceman and I will be playing the Division 2, continuing the Battle of Brooklyn content. I am also working my way through Claire Obscure Expedition 33 on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And this Friday night, as well as Sunday, I am going to be playing Until Dawn, the game. Not I'm not going to be up till dawn, but and that'll be our second horror-ish game for the season. Also on Friday morning, of course, the season 1 finale of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, as my watch through and discussion for the Hands of the Prophets, will be up on Friday morning. So with all that said, folks, tighten your friendship bracelet, stay safe, have a great day, like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined, and we'll see y'all in the next video.